Okay, folks, welcome back to my garage. As I stated in my previous videos, I am going to commence this project by removing the front fascia off of my 2012 Corvette Grand Sport. So I'm going to do my best and try to put the best, most documented video out there showing step by step how to remove this. So bear with me. I've got the car pushed all the way forward on my lift so that I have enough room to access the underneath. First step, I guess, will be removing this carbon fiber chin spoiler. Most of you guys probably have the stock plastic chin spoiler that comes from the factory. It's pretty much the same. This one might be a little more involved, a little more complicated. In some spots I put double-sided tapes, and then I added some brackets myself to strengthen it. Let me get the car up in the air, and hopefully all goes well. Okay, I got the car up on the lift. Give you guys a better look. I forgot which brand made this carbon fiber front splitter, but I did a little bit of modifications. I cut this out right here because it originally just came all the way to the back here. You didn't have any airflow going in here, so I opened it up just to let some more airflow hit the radiator and the AC radiator as well, air conditioning condenser. And there's my intercooler. And all right, let me get started. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so I have some 9/32 bolts way up in there. So those are basically located on the outer perimeter. So I'm going to take all of them out first. And then I have some, this was really hard to do. Well, up in there, I guess you could see that. I got two of those bolts up in there. And the only way he's going to be able to get them is with a little wrench through here, because there's no hole there. And I'm going to have to unscrew them the best I can. Alright, so let me get started. So I'm just using an extension with a 9/32 and turning them through the hole here and just unscrewing them. This is actually much harder than it looks, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to do this with one hand and film at the same time, so I apologize. But basically, I'm going to go around the outer perimeter, take them out, and move on to the next step. Okay, so I got the 9/32 bolts out from the outer perimeter part. And now I'm going to take out these two 1/2" bolts. And I actually made a bracket for that because I didn't like how it fit, and you can see up there I put like a threaded spacer in between so that it was tight and firm. And you can see some of the double-sided tape here I also added to keep it from bouncing around, because there wasn't really much support. You got a pretty big portion there, and there was still a lot of play. This moved around a lot. So between the spacer and the double-sided tape, I actually made it pretty firm and solid there. That doesn't move at all. So let me get to that. Okay, so I'm just going to use a 1/2" socket. Alright, this thing is just spinning freely. That's part of the problem. I had loosened it before I started filming. And I can't tell if it's spinning up from the top. Let's find out if it comes out. Okay, good. So I don't want to bore you guys. I'll come right back. I just want to show you guys. So I took out the 1/2-inch bolts from over here. There is the spacer. I put the threaded spacer. It goes up through the top. You can see the nut there. I'm sorry, the bolt. And I did the same on the other side. And this side, this is the passenger side of the car. This is saturated with oil. Well, I recall why I used the double-sided tape. Actually, I left the red, I guess it's like nylon, I don't know what material. I left the red portion over, and I did it so that it doesn't rub and scratch up the underside of the bumper. That's why I put the double-sided tape here. So double-sided tape is just acting as a buffer. So I apologize, but this is completely covered in oil, and that's part of the reason why I'm taking this front fascia off, so I could see where the hell that oil is exactly coming from. So now I got those two bottom 1/2-inch bolts off. Now I'm going to take these off. These are those really hard ones to get to, right up in there. So I'm going to get them out. I got 2 on each side, and then this should come out. I believe so. All right, I'll be back. Okay, so here's how I'm going to get these top ones off. From the underside, I'm going to slip this under, and then I'm going to come over here and unscrew these. There's really not much room in here, so this is going to take a long time to unscrew 4 of these like this. This is actually a 7mm wrench, so you can use 7mm or 9/32. All right, I'll be back. It's gonna take me a while. Okay, so I just want to show you why I had a gas line and I split it and I put it around. Can you see that clips? Yeah, those clips were digging in to the intercooler. And I know it's hard to tell, but it's actually got a pretty good groove in there. So I was inserting this up and around and over like that to act as a buffer, because that's pretty good amount of wear and rubbing that took place. And that happened pretty much on all 3. So just a little something extra. Get under there and make sure you have enough clearance. Even though, you know, the intercooler doesn't really move around and the front fascia doesn't really move around. Just normal vibrations cause that. And when I get the front fascia off and the intercooler out, we can take a better look at the damage. But get yourself a fuel line, cut about 1 inch, split it down the center, take it, hook it up and over. That would stink if that hole actually went through. All right, I'll be back. Actually, I took out those 3 screws up there. I got the bolts out of here that were all right there and right there. So there was 5 down here. Now these 3 are a little shorter than the ones that go towards the front of the fascia. So you might want to label them and save them separately. All right, let's see what else is next. Okay, there's 2 more screws. Got one here and one right there. So I'm going to get them out. All right. Okay, so I removed those 2 10mm nuts, and then I simply pulled down on the 2 tabs there. So now I guess we're going to move over to the wheel well section. think I'll start on the passenger side. Okay, so I'm on the passenger side. I've got my wheel turned all the way to give me some room because I have to access. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws there. Those are, you gotta use a torque bit, a T15. It's that right there. Okay, so I got those 5 screws out, and I just gently put my hand in here, and this bottom portion also popped out with it because it's attached. You can see some screws. Get some light. Attached by those screws back there. I guess if you have the base Corvette, you're not going to have this intake pipe. That's for the front brake lines. For the front brakes, it's like a air cooling shaft. There's the intake, feeds up into that other pipe and leads to the front brakes. This is a Grand Sport, so I'm fortunate enough to have it, but I don't know if a base Corvette will, but I imagine the Z06 and Z01 are the exact same as my car here. So I guess I'll unscrew this bottom portion. And there are 2 bolts back up in the top part about here that we need to get to. I don't know if we could see them all the way back up in there. This goddamn light getting in the way. Okay, you can see one right back up there. One right there. And then there's another one right there. And we gotta unplug that light, that side marker right there, too. So let me get to that. I'll be back. Okay, so I got this on the side of this air dam, and this one is only held on with 2 screws. So don't be fooled. You have to take. You're gonna get under there, and you're gonna see 5 of these 9/32 or 7mm screws. You only have to take the 2 outer ones. So that one, and then that one. These other screws hold the bottom air deflector on. So it goes like that. And those 2 clips are where the 2 screws get screwed into. So we're going to set that aside. Any chance I have, I like to put the screws back where they came rather than putting them in a bag and labeling them. So I'm going to put these 2 back in here so I don't lose them. I apologize, I don't know why I'm using a cell phone to take this video, and the cell phone usually takes fantastic video, but for some reason it's not really focusing well today. Probably because it's dark underneath this car. And I've got 24 LED lights at the top of my garage, and it's still damn dark in here. Alright. So I'm going to try to get those 2 bolts that are up there out. And then this side should be ready to come loose. And I know I have some up at the top underneath the hood. And then there's 2 clips here, I believe. You got to pull. So, all right, I'll be back. Okay, so you're going to have to unplug that for your turn signal. And then it's got 2 clips there and there. You got to pop out the turn signal light in order to get to that back bolt. So just reach up, this little tab, squeeze it, and pull out. See, just pull down on that and pull it out. Okay. Oh, yeah. This is a pain in the neck to do. say? I gotta put the camera down. This is crazy. I apologize. I'll be back. Okay, I got the side marker out. Basically, you just have to push inward on this tab, and then inward on this tab. First I squeezed this one, popped it out a little like that, then I came back here with my thumb and squeezed this one inward. Came out 1, 2, 3. And to get those two top 10mm nuts, those right there, I just took 10mm socket, a couple of extensions, and was able to get them both. You know, I'm working on the lift, so it's a little easier. I got the car up in the air. So now I'm going to go over to the driver's side. I'm going to do the same. I'm not going to document that. It'll just be repetitive. And then we'll go to the top side and we'll take those off, and then we'll tug on it gently and see what happens. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so here's a tip. I got the bottom air dam out. I got the side marker out. I got those 5 outer torque screws out. But I don't have enough room now on the driver's side to access those 2 top bolts because the inner fender well is blocking me. And that's because this tire is turned inward. When I was working on the passenger side, I had the passenger front tire turned outward. So you're not going to be able to get those top bolts with the tire turn the wheel the other way. Point the front driver's side tire towards the outside, and then you'll be able to push back on this inner fender. As you can see, I can't really push back on it much. And then that'll give you enough clearance to get those bolts. So that's just a tip, just to keep that in mind. But so far everything on the driver's side is the same as the passenger side. Just remember to turn your wheel the other way. I'll be back. Okay, so I got those bolts out. Turn the wheel the other way. Gave you plenty of room to push the inner fender well back. And then you have to disconnect the front fog lights. And that's pretty easy. You're just gonna take that, I already loosened that one. Take that and turn it to the side, the whole assembly. And it just comes right out. So, a little like this. Turn it this way and just pull it out. And let it hang. That's it. So I'm going to go do it on the other side. Then we're going to go to the top side. And I'll be back. Okay, so I got the car back on the ground. I'm at the top side. And we got these 5 7mm screws. Just going to undo them. And then I think it should be ready to come off. So I'm going to give that a shot. All right, I'll be back. Okay, so I took out the 4 7mm screws from the top bracket here. I'm sorry, from the upper portion of the front fascia. And over here, see this little tab? It's like a little hook. Just pull the front fascia out, up and over it. Then you have to do the same over there on that side. So you got to do that twice. And then I believe it should be ready to be pulled off. There might be another 1 or 2 bolts hidden somewhere, but I'll find them. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, this is the only little tricky part I've run into so far. There's a tab and the upper part of the front fascia clips into it. You just have to pull up a little hard. Just take your time. I put some blue tape along the edges here. Just don't want to scratch. I even put some blue tape on the bottom side of the hood and over here. I don't want my front fascia getting scratched. I'm a little neurotic, but that's okay. Better to be safe than sorry. So let me show you how I did this. I have a little help right now. Somebody's holding the camera for me. So just try to pull up gently. Take your time, no rush. There you go. Let me show you that tab. There it is. See that little groove? So the front fascia is going to snap right in between that groove there. So I think it should be ready to pull off right now. So we'll be back. Okay, so I was trying to get it off. I was running into a little snag. Do yourself a favor and please cover your front fascia and the edge of your hood. So what you have to do is do as I mentioned earlier, where I took off those two little hooks. Don't lift up yet too much on the front fascia. Lower your hood. I don't have it locked. Lower your hood and then just lift upwards. You're going to pull up and you're going to dislodge the top of the front fascia. So let me give that a shot. Alright, so here we go. Let's give it a shot, see how this works. Oh yeah, that's what you got to do. There you go. So it's now dislodged from the top. And it feels like something's still holding it on. Let me see. Okay, just pull down and forward. Okay, here it comes. There you go. That's how you do it. Okay, so that's how you do it. Now just remember the two tricks I told you earlier. Turn your wheels outward so you can get to those 5 outer T5 torque screws on both sides. So that's trick number 1. One step, make your life easier. Tape up your edges here and there, please, so you don't scratch it up. I'm sure you guys are just as crazy about your car as I am. And lower the hood. Don't lock it, lower it, and then just lift up on the front part of your fascia, on the top portion, and it'll come right out. And that's how to do it. That's step by step. It's pretty easy, not bad. It took me about 2 hours, but the filming slowed me down a lot. You could probably do this within an hour, hour and a half. If you have a lift, it'll be easier, but if you're working on the floor, it's going to be a little difficult. But that's basically how to remove the front fascia on the 2012 C6 Corvette Grand Sport. Actually, any C6 should pretty much be the same. So good luck. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please send me an email. Please click the like and subscribe button, and thank you again for watching.